Hi, I'm Tom. I've had lymphedema, I guess, for since about 2008, I think, maybe 2007. Lymphedema, the diagnosis then came, I noticed in about, let's say, 18 months or a couple of years later. My watch was getting tighter around my wrist, and I thought, that's a bit weird. That time I had been told by the Macmillan nurse at the time that this was a possibility, that you could have this swelling that could happen after you take all your lymph nodes out of one side. So I was aware of it, so I wondered if that's what it was, went to hospital and then got the diagnosis. I'm very lucky because it was only there and the operation was successful in that sense, and here we are, 19 years later, and I'm still here. I think, first of all, sort of the understanding of what it is in terms of how it affects your life, and the feeling of, well, okay, this is something you're going to live with, for the rest of your life. So the question then becomes management. Beginning, it was a sleeve just down to the wrist, and then it was, okay, you need a glove because my hand would get a bit swollen with activity. That kind of happens too. And then it's, okay, look, you need to be wearing this all the time. Compression sleeves during the day, I have one at night, and moisturising, which I should do more of. But it becomes kind of automatic, which again feels weird, putting on this. You think, how can that become a thing you do every day? But it just, it does. I haven't had infections. I am very conscious of that on this side. So I suppose it means even small things like, if you're in your kitchen and you cut your finger kind of thing, then it's immediately Sudocrem washing stuff, or if you get a bit of a burn, that kind of stuff. So I think it's just being more conscious of that for sure. It doesn't have a big impact in life. You put it on and you kind of forget about it. I don't want to, hide the fact that I have it. And if people do ask questions, and if one of the answers I hope that they'll come up with is, it's a compression sleeve for lymphedema, well, great, because that increases potentially awareness about this condition. I honestly regard myself as so lucky in two main ways. One is the fact that I'm still alive. And the second of all is that this condition is so well looked after by the team here. It hasn't changed anything I do socially. Travelling wise, I remember at the beginning when I suppose it was first diagnosed and we were dealing with a less strong level of compression, the advice was, you don't have to wear the sleeve all the time, but when you notice it, and when you're on planes, always wear it because of the changes in air pressure and what that might do to pressure. No, beyond that, it's just making sure you're packing enough, and that you've got moisturiser, and you've got enough sleeves to take you through however it's long going to be. Practical thing, I noticed it because my watch was getting tighter, so my wedding ring's on this finger and the watch is on this hand, obviously because of the potential of not being able to get a wedding ring off. Bandaging, and so what that has meant is it's an art what they do, because there's layers of bandages and cotton wool and pads, foam pads, and then more bandaging in absolutely where it's most severe, and you do that for a week, 2 weeks at a time. But I mean that means coming in every day during the week for an hour and a half with people. I mean, it's an amazing commitment on the part of the team and the NHS. It's just the most wonderful thing. It makes all the difference. Whenever you feel, as an individual, you know your body. Great respect to everyone who works here. You know your body better than anyone else. So if you feel it getting tighter, and that then, go in, there are things that can be done. And again, I think that's the thing. It's not the case that you have this and it's a sentence. It's more like, okay, we manage it, and it's being responsive to it. It's as variable as, the weather, our emotional lives, who we are. And then, of course, when there are things like major traumas and operations, well, yeah, but then there is help. It can get better. In terms of weight fluctuation, again, I know that's the case. I probably experienced it a little bit, although I feel a bit thinner now than I was 6 months ago, mostly because I'm lifting my daughter a lot. I really hope, in terms of people understanding this condition, it's a sort of wake-up call to the importance of this entire system, which is mysterious and essential to all of our lives and all of our healing. The advice would be, whilst it is something you live with, it is livable with, and it will become something that actually is part of a routine and can genuinely be something. When you work with these wonderful teams, it can be, this is a weird thing to say, but it's genuinely an enriching part of life.